Streaming 24/7.
24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika nakupenda sana.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the African Experience. I'll be your guest host for today, Mercy and it is such a pleasure and beautiful evening. I will be your guest host as our current host, Dr. Hlami and Miss Aventina are not here at the moment, but I am not alone. Today I am joined by Mr. Nhlamulo Ntabeni. He is such a multifaceted person, and it'll make sense why I am saying this in a moment. Mr. Ntabeni, welcome to the African Experience, and please introduce yourself, greet the guests, and tell us who is Mr. Ntabeni.
Evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. It means so much for us, for you to be supporting us in this nature. Ntabeni is a God-fearing man who lives to serve his wife and family. I'm currently the Group CEO at Nhlamulo Group of Companies. With that being said, I remain an academic and a well-put-together businessman and a global leader and an effective implementer of solutions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And once more, welcome to the African Experience. Please tell us what is the meaning of your name, and what significance does it have to you, the name Nhlamulo? Please explain to us and our guests as we get to know you better in this beautiful show tonight.
This is a great platform for me to share quite an insightful part of my life. But my name Nhlamulo is a Tsonga name, which generally means answer, and an astonishing name which was given to me by my dear grandmother Emily. To her, I was her answered praise for having a son within her family, and I was the baby boy she's always prayed for my mother. So this name has grown to have great meaning in everything I do. With that being said, everything I do finds itself having being an answer. And God has found his way of showing answers in whether be it my name or be in my presence. Wherever I go, I'm always given the opportunity to be the answer to a lot of solutions. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for such an insightful answer. Now, with your name, in fact, it's almost like a joke because answer being Nhlamulo, it's such an provoking name. Now that we know your name and its meaning, would you mind telling us more about how Nhlamulo became to be? What has been your career journey, and what have your fields of studies been, or your field of study, and what inspired you to follow those studies?
Okay. So Nhlamulo is a young boy who was raised in Malamlele, but has been well traveled because my parents have moved around in the likes of Nelspruit, Lepompo, Gauteng, and I've had the opportunity to be in a number of exchange programs. So Nhlamulo is a well-traveled and well-versed individual. My career journey started in a beautiful town called Nelspruit, where I completed my matric at a school called Penryn College. I'm the class of 2013. I went on to complete my BA in Public Management and Governance and postgraduate labor law at the University of Johannesburg with cum laude for both qualifications. I found myself taking a turn around once again within my mainstream career, as I would have assumed to complete another qualification in property development and investments, cum laude as well. And over the years, I've had the opportunity of working in different spaces, like within the wine distribution space, where I was the director for a company that distributed wines from Cape Town into the inlands of South Africa. Later on, moved into mining and worked for a family business in the brick manufacturing company in Hammanskraal. And currently, we are owning a security company, which is guarding and patrolling. And we are also within the construction space. And that construction space will focus on surveying, civil works, and consultations, and within the training space. And that is where we are exploring a project called, which I will tell you more about as we go on with the interview. But that's who we are, and that's who I am. A mouthful, but a good mouthful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure my listeners now understand why I said this man is a multifaceted person. So many paths and so many opportunities did he take. Now, the question I would like to ask you is, with so many careers that you have embarked on and so many um, jobs that you have taken, how has this been to your advantage? And how did you manage to take all these different routes in life?
As the listeners would know, public management and governance, labor law, property development and investments. Those are three different spaces, which is quite good. And for me, my dynamic academic background has worked for in my favor and still works in my favor till date. What we all need to understand is school doesn't make you. All it does is cultivate and propel you into the direction that you are destined for. I'm able to sit in boardrooms I've never imagined myself to be in because of the dynamic way of thinking that I've possessed. The way I think, the way I process, and the way I deliver information, and that I've gathered over the years through the different spaces I've worked in. So that on its own has allowed me to create a powerful, impactful network of people who constantly contribute into the gentleman that I am today.
Wow, wow. So much wisdom and such a great person. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is such a big inspiration, and I'm sure to many youth that are listening today. And you can be inspired by his story as you tune in and listen more as to what he has to say. Now, many young people are listening to you right now and they're waiting to be employed, but you chose this path, you chose this social business route. Now, can you please explain to us what exactly inspired you to choose this route? What made you think this is the path that I should take over all these other paths that would have been, I can say, delightful or appealing to you?
When you ask me that, I'm not sure if I should be diplomatic or should I be philosophical about it. Um, but to be honest with you, what inspires me to be a businessman is financial stability. I've always pictured myself to have a certain lifestyle, which has encouraged me to have multiple streams of income because of where I envision myself to be and what I want to be remembered by and accustomed to. And also my personality. With my personality, I've always strived to be my own boss and to have and to create have a creative freedom, over my schedule and over the vision of my life and how I want it to look. I've never been a fan of poverty, and I'm or the inability to be able to have greater things in life. I know with what I do, being a professional speaker, you would have expected a philosophical response, but unfortunately, the truth is that I always knew that I have to create my own multiple streams of income. My parents have played part in sharpening my mind, and now. And now I knew that the only way to sustain it is by creating jobs that will sustain families, whom will later pray for my family and when they go to sleep at night every day, which will leave a flood of blessings in my heaven account every time I need to ask God for more money.
Wow, wow. That is so amazing. And it is such an inspiration to hear you put yourself out there and say that, I want to make multiple streams of income and I want to take this route because I know I will make it in this route. But many people can say that despite this, there are challenges that they face and that not it's not easy to come across doors that open for them. So what can you say has helped you to break open those doors or to find places or opportunities that open those doors for you?
If I must be honest, opportunities are there every day. We every time you wake up in the morning, there's an opportunity, and every time you fail or every time you win or win you win an opportunity, it's still an opportunity, failure or winning. And this is quite deep, and I've had many doors that have contributed to my breakthrough, multiple doors, which I can proudly be proud about. But all of them have come with a number of disappointment, rejection, and failure. and some of them have come with bad PR, you know, um, and that bad PR for me has been a breakthrough of my own. I've failed multiple times. I've been rejected many times. For some, for some, when that happens, that's the end. With me, every time someone rejects me, that's the beginning of a new story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. So every time you reject Mulo group of companies, always know that we're always finding a solution to be better than what you think we are. As I started my business journey, I've always wanted to be perfect. However, over the years, I've learned that the imperfection is the new success. Every successful person has a story of imperfection. And I feared being misrepresented up until I read a book by Apostle M.V.G. Lipoko, who, with a book titled You Too Can Be a Celebrity. This on this specific chapter, that's where he indicated that you need to stop worrying about what people speak about, how people represent your name, and how people speak ill of you, because they are only giving you free PR. So Mulo group of companies doesn't have a budget for PR. We've got people out there who constantly share about our company. So with that, that is free PR and breakthroughs in its own right. And from there, I've always been focused on cultivating my brand for it to be great and well destined. I once shared a word at church where we spoke about um, God giving you a new opportunity. When people speak ill of you and people misrepresent your company, little do they know that they're only telling people about your company. So when you speak ill of Muda Group of Company, someone will Google it and they'll find the truth on how great we are.
Wow, that is such inspiring words. And I can see on our lines here, we have people that are very much inspired by your story as well. I see we have Bob who says, truly inspiration indeed. And we have Rulani Baloy who says, wow, such an amazing entrepreneur. Indeed, having a set of dreams will drive one to make it beyond the odds. And I
Mm.
also see Pastor Joylene Mangani saying, this is Youth Month indeed. We're learning from you guys. Truly speaking, and I see Zaki Sai saying amen. Very inspiring. Bravo, men of God. Just by your story alone, we can see that it's also touching many people and they're very much being inspired by your story. I
Yeah.
also heard you mention Mulao Group, and that is I've come to know that you are currently the group CEO of Mulao Group Companies. Please tell us more about that. And when was this company founded? And what do you do in this company other than CEO, being a group CEO?
Group CEO.
Yes.
Um, Funny story. Mulo Group of Companies was founded in 2015 in a classroom at Block 100 at the University of Johannesburg. Um, that's where the company idea was started. I was sitting in a lecture, and I just felt that this is not it. I'm at university, but this is definitely not what I'm destined for. So that's when I came up with the company. I didn't drop out. I continued to go to school and complete my 3 qualifications, record time with cum laude. But at the same time, I was running my business. Allow me to share the story with you guys. It's quite a funny story, and I tell it all the time when I'm invited to speak. I started off in the classroom. It was on the 15th, on the day my parents sent me my pocket money. I took that money and I went and I bought socks with all the money. Didn't buy groceries. I went and I bought socks. And I went to different departments in Johannesburg and I dropped off those socks for people to buy from them, believing that that money would generate something. And believe it or not, man, that sock business really gave birth to the company that we have today, because not only did it bring the little money it brought, but it brought resilience. It brought negotiation skills. It brought cold winters walking in the streets, trying to sell this. And you know, someone will be sitting there thinking, "Oh, what a terrible story to tell." No, it's not a terrible story to tell. It's a story that I have been fortunate to experience because of my resilience. My parents did provide a wonderful life for me, but I felt I needed to work more to have more. Socks turned into selling perfumes.
Okay.
Perfumes were selling socks and perfumes, and from there, needed I wanted more money up until I went on to a specific TV show, and I was an extra, and that's where I was caught by my parents when they were visiting a friend of theirs, and my parents were like, "No matter what, that is our son on TV," and that's how they found out that I was actually in business, and my business was having small projects within the university and within departments in the area. Fast
Oh,
tracking over the years, it has evolved and has become a phenomenal case study for many people to study from. We're currently in construction, focusing on civil works, surveying, and consultations for civil works. We also within the training space, like I mentioned before, we have a project called Project Boningo, which focuses on rehabilitating ex-offenders. It is a baby that we're currently working on and feel very passionate about that we will want to work very closely with ex-offenders. And we have the security company and Rubicon, the funeral supplies. Our offices are based in North Riding, Johannesburg. For more information, please do visit our website at www.mulo.co.za or Instagram or Facebook pages.
wow, wow, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here. This man is giving you his life journeys from selling socks to selling perfumes to acting. He has been on the move and it has been working for him. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, as we're quickly taking a short ad break, and do not go anywhere as we'll be back before you know it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and you are joined by me, your guest host for today, Mercy and I. am not the current host, as our hosts are off somewhere, but it has been such a pleasure to be with you and our guest, Mr. Ntabeni. As you saw, we have been talking to such a mover, if I can put it like that, who has been giving us a share of his journey, how he started his business, where he has been heading, and what projects he has been doing so far. Mr. Ntabeni, welcome back to the African Experience, and it has been such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you very much. It is Youth Month. It feels very weird when you call me Mr. Ntabeni.
No, I understand. Yes,
I,
yes, you're right
I,
to the dot there. Okay.
I,
Yes, everyone. Also, it's Youth Month, guys. So I think it was also a God given opportunity to have a youth interview,
yeah.
Mr. Ntabeni, today,
Yeah.
as we're celebrating Youth Day, which is upcoming on Sunday. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's been it's definitely such an amazing time, and
Yeah.
we are learning so much from this amazing person. And speaking of youth, also, we I would like to ask you about your question that I think later on will relate to youth, but your theme for today, the theme you have chosen is very interesting. And I would like you to explain further on why you chose this theme and what does this theme mean for you and for others who might want to understand what this theme means.
The theme I've chosen for today is taking two steps back. Um, Taking two steps back will give you a greater momentum than moving at your own pace. That is a very heavy statement in the sense that if you don't take two steps back on your own,
Mm,
life will give you two steps back. So
okay.
it's good times to take two steps back in whatever you do, be it in business or as an individual. Two steps back in conversations, two steps back in family, friends, colleagues, anyone that you associate with. Always take two steps back to reevaluate, recalculate, and remodel that specific relationship. Without doing that, the relationships will do it themselves. And I've learned that sometimes it's very important to cure something before it becomes a pandemic in your own life. Simple things in life require you to take two steps back. And it is, I think I'll leave it at that. It's very important. And I want everyone to take it home that in anything you do, be it in an argument, be it in an excited moment of solution or whatever it is, take two steps back, recalculate, rethink, realign, and take
Mm.
a step forward.
Wow. Those are very profound words. And I would like to actually further ask you, how have you seen taking two step back helped you? How has it helped you in your businesses and the choices you've made in your businesses? I would like you to further explain on that and we see just how much this statement has helped you in your business life, in your day-to-day life.
I've learned that the hard way. At first, um, I used to go for things head and first, chasing dreams, chasing achievements, chasing relationships, and I've
Mm.
learned that the hard way that if I don't take two steps back by choice, those things I've been chasing will do a two step back by force. And when they do it, it's not nice. How has it helped me in today? That quote and the theme that I've chosen, it's helped me be where I am today. I'm able, like I said, to engage in networks which I had dreamt of. I'm able to sit with anyone from any walk of life and still be able to relate with them solely because of the ability to understand that take two steps back also comes with a phenomenal strategy of reading the room and understanding who it is that I'm talking to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that answer. Now, with your many businesses, what can you say are your specialties? Like you've mentioned the contracting, you've mentioned how you started, you've mentioned what Mulao Group does as a company. Now, what are your own specialties? No, outside the Mulao Group, in your own personal businesses, what are your specialties?
So, starting with my company, we are called Mulo Group of Companies because of the amount of service offerings we have to offer. And we do that because we understand that it's very important to have a company that is able to sustain itself with multiple streams of income. The reason why we've had so many people close down during COVID is because the inability of forecasting in whatever company that they have. So, in our specific company, our specialities are within the funeral supplies, security, construction space, as well as training and professional services offered in different components of our company. And as an individual, my speciality is specifically in decision making and negotiating, as well as as branding my company as best as I know how. My specialties are based around ensuring that all entities generate an income and create a healthy environment for all who work for the business, and also ensuring that everyone who interacts with our company has an impeccable experience with every client that we experience.
Wow, wow. And I see so many people are agreeing and are very much touched. I see Zaki saying, don't have to look far for inspiration. That's my brother. And I see Pastor, Pastor Joylene Mangani saying, taking two steps back, recalculate, rethink, and realign. Wow, thank you, Budin Nhlamulo. Like this is such and I see Bob here also saying he has excellent mentorship skills too. And I honestly can attest to this just by speaking with you for these minutes. I can see that this person has such a big mentorship persona and he can mentor people in such an amazing way. Now, I also seen Sobo Makubele saying very profound conversation that really evokes our youth to rethink, realign to better leverage any presented opportunity. Now, with all this work that you do, Mr. Ntabeni, I would like to ask what helps you stay grounded? What helps you to stay planted in yourself, to not be overwhelmed by any work pressure with so many things that you're doing? What helps you stay grounded?
Hmm. Let me think. One, I've got a very beautiful wife that keeps me very grounded. But most
Love.
importantly, God, family,
Mm,
and God. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah, my wife, family, God, and God. Yeah.
mm, mm. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. Beautiful. I see that have also you're also not only a businessman, but an intellectual who serves as a board member and consultant. You've
Okay.
mentioned that you do this also in many areas. Your company has so many factors and areas that they assist in. You've mentioned the funerals. You've mentioned how you do so much, in fact. So
Yeah.
please tell us more about that and
Yeah.
how this serves.
I know every time I present my company, for someone who doesn't understand, it may come across as a chaotic mess. But but when you get to know more about us, you'll understand that it's a beautiful mess that plugs in and plays in the whole ecosystem that we've created. So now, over the years, I've gathered knowledge from different sectors, which has ignited the interest in participating in different sectors. Through the great networks I've built over the years, it has only been God's grace that I've been able to have an impactful um, experience in all the sectors that I've had experience in. I've worked with a phenomenal company. Don't think I'd mention them on this platform, but I've worked with a company that is quite phenomenal on a number of projects which focused on developing mining towns and propelling them into having sustainable and new generating new income generating new incoming solutions. I've also had the wonderful experience of I have also served as an effective board member for the Global Zero Hunger, which is an initiative that worked very closely with the community on world food security that is based in Rome, Italy. I remain a committed ambassador and a driver for youth involvement in policy making platforms like I have been in my life. I also remain a strategic consultant for SMMEs and businesses within the built and educational sector.
Wow. Truly speaking, you are a multifaceted person, and we can see this in the work that you do. I see you mentioned that you had worked with food security. I know that you contributed to the Global Zero Agenda. I would like you to please tell us about your involvement with the committee and what exactly this, for those who do not know what this agenda and committee do, and how you were part of it basically.
Okay. So CFS is a wonderful initiative that works together with the Food Agriculture Organization, which is based in Italy. And it happens every year in October, where different people from different walks of lives come together to contribute to the policy decision making around food security and a number of factors around the food organization sector. You've got people within the engineering space, people within the food space, everywhere, politicians, um, successful people, businessmen, everyone comes to that specific place. So it's our mini, what is it, Davos, if you could say that. It's our mini Davos where everyone comes together solely to push the agenda of agriculture. And this, I must say, was one of the best parts of my career. I mean, with my father being in the water space over the years, that has remained a factor that um, if your parents do a specific career, those teachings like fall into the house because he's always talking about it. So over the years, I've remained involved within the agricultural space because of the information that I would get from him and
Mm,
the interest within that space, not necessarily within the water space, but that contributed um, to why I got involved within agriculture. And quite surprisingly, our childhood encounters have had an impact on who we become one day. We shouldn't take that quite lightly. Another part that ignited interest in agriculture that a lot of people don't know about was when my mother used to work for the Department of Agriculture in Mpumalanga, and she used to take us on trips on this Masimeni initiative, which she was running. And through that, I found myself hearing and listening to all these intellectual information that has now propelled me to now want to be more involved in agriculture, because not only did I understand that agriculture is important
mm,
in regenerating food and and ensuring that we have food security. But it's quite a lucrative space that people are, especially people of our color, are not playing in. And after a great consultation with Dr. Ngwenya, that is when we decided to go on a trip to Italy for the event called CFS. And this brought greater avenues, which led to my great contribution to the Youth for Zero Hunger on that platform. And my experience with rubbing shoulders with big shots has been quite comfortable. That experience felt like home. From then, I've never stopped chasing the dream of being a pioneer of new solutions.
Wow, wow. That is so amazing to see you now also dipping your feet in fact, though it is land, but you're dipping
Yeah.
your feet in the agricultural space as well, simply to also inspire youth as well, specifically Black youth who you see there's a lack of in that certain sector. It's such inspiring words, and your journey truly, really is inspiring.
I
I
think
see also.
if I could just add something there as well, is
Yes,
that
yes.
when it comes to agriculture, a lot of people think of spinach, cows, cattle, goats,
Mm.
um, you know, having pigs. That's what
Yeah.
they think. And agriculture is very big. And I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this are probably thinking, he doesn't even have one cow. Yes, I don't have a cow, but I contribute to policies that regulate how your cows will be managed within every country in Africa.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please do not go anywhere. Mr. Ntabeni, when we come back from this second ad break, I would like us to go through some pictures that we have had. You know, as
Yes.
Dr. Hlami says in this show, she loves stalking and she has gathered up some pictures which I would love to show you, and you explain to us exactly what was happening in these pictures, what really was going on, and what was the experience for you. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not go away as we're quickly taking a short commercial break and we'll be back shortly.
Thank you so much.
Are you ready for the ultimate dietary powerhouse? Look no further than Masana Dietitian's Nutro Boost. Our scientifically formulated low GI food is designed to give you the boost you need to fuel your body and reach your health goals. With NutriBoost, you have the flexibility to enjoy it as a high-fiber cereal or a satisfying shake. Simply mix it with water and indulge in the mouth-watering flavors that we have to offer. But that's not all. NutriBoost is packed with essential nutrients that are beneficial for your overall well-being. Enriched with 20 immune-boosting vitamins and minerals, it's a convenient and effective way to support your immune system. And here's the best part. NutriBoost is gluten-free, egg-free, and high in omega-3, making it suitable for those with dietary restrictions or allergies. Need an energy boost? NutriBoost has you covered. It's high in energy and protein, providing you with the fuel you need to power through your day. Whether it's a busy morning or an intense workout session, say goodbye to midday slumps and hello to sustained energy with NutriBoost. Try it today and experience the difference. For orders or to become a distributor, contact us on the following details.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the African Experience Show. You're joined with me, your temporary host for today, Mercy and I, and we are Youth on Youth today as we're celebrating Youth Day. I am joined by Mr. Nhlamulo Ntabeni, and as I stated, looking at pictures. You know, Dr. Hlami always says that, she loves talking, and we just want to see these pictures and have Mr. Ntabeni explain to us what was happening, what was going on, give us some insight onto this picture. And here is the first one.
Oh, that is that is what I send out to clients when they want to know my bio and what I do.
Okay. And then there's this one.
Big take. This picture is from 2020. or 2019. Can't remember. This was in Italy. There's a part of the board members for Youth for Zero Hunger. As you can see, we come from different parts of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's me at work.
And which field of work would this be?
Skills development. It's part of our leadership coaching that we do for companies.
Okay. So do you normally go around in every sector, or there are specific sectors that you teach in skills development?
We normally focus on new venture creation, personal mastery, leadership development, business management, and project management. Four of those, of which are accredited with Services CETA and QCTO.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's this one as well.
This was when I was speaking at a youth day event in Tembisa early this month. Early this month.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
it's very recent.
Very recent. Yeah.
In line with Youth Month. I
Yeah, and
see.
I was wearing a black shirt, and I'm wearing a black shirt now. I just realized it now. It's not the same one.
Yeah.
That's me at work as well.
Hmm.
That was earlier this month. Yo, that is an old picture. That was when I was in Italy, being part of the board. I think I was moving from one plenary to another one. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And I think this is the same one that was mentioned with the CFS you mentioned with the global.
Yeah, yes,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. That was me sightseeing. That's the Colosseum in Italy, and that is a very handsome man called Ntabeni.
Yeah. And I
Uh,
see here we would
yeah.
like to hear further on what was happening here. I see it's an interview, Fate and Destiny.
Yes, I've been very fortunate last month to be covered by a wonderful magazine called Leadership. It is an online magazine, but they do have a number of copies being sold in exclusive shops. Prominent magazine, and God has just been good in my life, and
Mm,
I'm seeing work, and this is great. I think for me, when I saw this, it made me realize that even I shouldn't always look for people to clap hands. I shouldn't look for people to clap hands in the places where I think people should clap hands. There are people who are sitting on the grandstand who are inspired by my work, and this pushed me to work harder.
wow, that's very insightful. To
Yeah,
not look for clapping of hands, but to simply just do what you want and desire to do. That is very insightful. And I think this is the same
the same.
article. Leadership.
Yes, yeah,
Okay. And I think this will be our last picture. Is this still the same one as the previous?
yes. The same CFS project. I think that was one of the prime ministers. I stand to be corrected. There was a lot happening, but I happen to be one of the, you know what I mean, people in the group, young men who were
Mm,
representing. Yes.
wow, wow. We can see that you put so much and you're working towards building and improving not only yourself, but the youth, the country in so
Yeah.
many ways, and it is just so inspirational. Just like many of our listeners have been saying, I too am being inspired by what I am seeing. It is truly such great work that you're doing. And not only that, I see that you also have worked with a number of non-profit organizations. Like truly speaking, you are a trailblazer, and you
Mm.
have demonstrated leadership roles also in these organizations. Please tell the listeners what exactly were you doing in these non-profit organizations and all that you did with them, and do you still work with them?
Okay. I've worked with a number of nonprofit organizations, and over the years, I've been fortunate to work with phenomenal NGOs, and this has brought happiness in my heart as serving as my greatest fulfillment. I've worked with a foundation called Rehoboth Grace of Plenty Foundation. That foundation was led by a number of pastors, one of them being Pastor Ntabeni, who who together with other pastors were implementing the whole model of bringing God back into families. We had a number of events which I was working with them. Unfortunately, that foundation has now been paused, and I serve within the church, Rehoboth House of Worship. It's based in Pretoria, so that is part of a serving that I'm currently doing. I used to be part of the Global Shapers in Swane. Global Shapers is the World Economic Forum initiative that supports this Global Shapers. Currently, I'm with Ellen Orb's Foundation as a mentor for the youth who are trying to find their path within the career space.
Wow. Truly speaking, there's been so much, and it is once more amazing to see the work that you have accomplished thus far. And I see our listeners also have their own questions. I see from this side we have a question from, sorry, we have a question from Sobo Makubele who says, in line with commemorating Youth Month, what advice can you give to young men or women who's anticipating to start their own business?
Start.
Yes.
Start.
Yes.
That's the best advice I could give anyone. Start.
Mm.
Start, and by meaning start, what I mean by start, do research, do your maths, calculate, do research, and repeat again, and start. Just do it. Don't wait for a perfect time. There's no funding that's coming your way. Start with what you have.
That is very good, because I feel like a lot of youth as well also have the mentality of start big, they want to start
Yeah.
somewhere, start big. So I think that also helps you, in line with what you were saying, with takes two steps back. It gives us that insight to step
Mm.
back and say, okay, this is what I have. Let me start small, like your shoe business, as you mentioned. And I also see another question from Bob, which says, do you have any advice on how to win the persuasion of your customers and how to win their customer loyalty? So, this is now a question on, once you've established your business, but you want to keep growing and keep your customer base. What could you say to that question?
Firstly, the best way I've been able to maintain my customers is delivering on time. Over what's that saying? Under promise, over deliver with every client that you have. Even if they're bringing 50 rand or they're bringing 50 million, every client is a client, and they should all feel special. Once you've captured them to be part of your business, they become part of your family. So know their children's names, know more about them, make them feel important. That's what clients want. People with money who want to feel important.
Wow, this is truly, truly insightful information, and it will help so many young entrepreneurs and those who just want to enter the business space to know that
Yes.
start small, what you
Yeah.
have, what you should start with, and later on building relationships and building trust between you and your customers by simply, as you said, under what, under
Oh, under promise, over deliver.
under promise over deliver, because
Yes.
customer satisfaction is literally one of the best ways you can get customer loyalty.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be our last ad break for today. Please do not go anywhere, as we are still with Mr. Ntabeni, and we are learning so much about his world, how he started his businesses, all the paths he has taken with his work, and all that he will continue to do. Stay tuned, and we'll be back shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Streaming 24/7. 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika, nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika, nakupenda sana.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the last segment for the African Experience. You are still with me, your guest host for today, Mercy Anai, and I am joined by Mr. Ntabeni. And I would love to ask you a question, but I see one of our listeners, Pastor Jolene, she would love to ask, are you still available this youth month for youth motivation?
For her, anything.
Beautiful. So you honestly contact her and then she will have you motivate, because truly speaking, this is such big motivation, because instead of overthinking, your theme takes us back to rethink that we need to take a step back. We need to look at what we have, start small, and from then on we'll get to where we want to, because for you to be big, you need to start small. You need to grow and grow and grow and grow. And it is such insightful words. Now, my question is, you mentioned that getting applause or whatnot is not really the main objective. But I'd like to ask, what have your achievements been with all the work that you've been doing? What have you been able to achieve?
I feel like being a little child right now and jumping up and down to share what I've achieved and what I've done. I've achieved quite a number of things, which I would rather have them remain quite personal, for respectful reasons. However, one that I can share with you is that I can thank God. Thank God on this public platform for all that He's done for me, all the blessings that He gives me, and all the people that He's bringing in my business and in my personal life. God has been reshuffling and He's been doing very well. His grace has truly been very sufficient in my life. I recently was featured in one of the greatest magazines, like I said. I mean, the likes of Dr. J.J. Tabani have recognized the works that I've done, and that for me is a phenomenal thing. The likes of our Honorable Minister Togo Titiza constantly calling to encourage me to do work. I mean, that for me, that is an achievement. It doesn't have to be materialistic. It doesn't have to be opportunities. For the mere fact that I've got cheerleaders who are sitting in different platforms that are always calling to say, keep the good work up. That's enough for me. That's an achievement.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that is such beautiful words. And yeah, sometimes the encouragement itself is hearing and seeing what you did, just seeing the work that you've done and how it has impacted others, and also being encouraged of the good work that you're doing.
Yeah.
And from the pictures we've seen, we also see how passionate you are about the youth and empowering the youth. Now, what can you tell us about? Now, can you please tell us why that is so important for you? Why the youth? Why not any other groups? Or, in fact, as far as we've seen, it's every group, but you're so passionate about youth. Why is that important for you to empower the youth?
Firstly, because I still have 6 years in being youth, according to the South African age limit. I need to have great impact within that 6 years I have. But I remain passionate and driven to encourage this generation of young people. I've been very fortunate and privileged to have close friends of mine who are of the older generation and some who are younger. I mean, maybe let me not call them friends, but young people who are around me that I constantly mentor. I'm a big brother too. And I can see the gap that is there, and it's quite big. And the reason why it's big is because the democratic rights have come with blessings and a huge curse as well. Our current biggest pandemic is an entitled generation, raised by parents whom are trying to protect their children from their past, not knowing that they are currently incubating a disaster. I say this because a percentage of our youth today are not aware of the importance of education, humility, and network. You so quick cut off, like you'd say, cut off, but you don't understand the importance of network and knowing people. I feel I need to help one youth per day by instilling principles that I have learned, and which are relationships. This is what my mother has always instilled in us, that relationships with people are very important. People may not give you money, they may not give you an opportunity, but if I can call someone who is somewhere, they can open that door for me, and that can be turned into money. So relationships are important. The world owes you nothing. The youth is so entitled to think that the world owes them something. The world owes you absolutely nothing. You need to go out and catch it and chase whatever it is that you think you're destined for. The last part is that being black is not a being black is a privilege. It's not a prerequisite to success. Many black South Africans think being black because of B scorecard, they're going to be successful. No, the reason why we have so many failed companies is the entitlement of being black. So up until we understand that what we have to offer is the most important thing, then we are going to have a wonderful, successful generation. I don't shy away from the reality that not everyone has been fortunate enough to have access to information or the resources that I may have come across. However, I strive to give hope and solutions and to encourage the youth every day.
Wow. And I see so many of our listeners are in agreement with me. Mr. Teleni Ntabeni saying, wow, Ngwananga, I'm so proud of you indeed. It can only be God and Him only. And Dr. Mangani saying, you are such a great inspiration, man. Keep up the awesome work you're doing. And I see Pastor Strike says, thanks, Magoto. We're so proud of you and your selfless spirit. And Pastor Julene as well saying thank you, the Ntabeni family, for raising such a giant in Nhlamulo to impact lives. You
Thank
can
you so
see that your words are so encouraging to so many of our listeners. And you mentioned that you just have 6 more years as a youth and you'd like to make an impact. So I would like to ask you, what is in your plan for the next 10 years or so? Like, what are your aspirations and what impact do you want to do for the youth, for adults, for children, for just the country in general in the next 10 years or so? What are your future plans?
In the next 10 years, I see myself employing more than 50 permanent staff members across the country under the
Mm,
group. I probably think I'll be serving God heavy, serving God in the church, within the community as well. Hence why we need to start with making the money so we can serve God with the money we've made. A
mm,
global footprint in agriculture and a magnificent ecosystem that I'm currently creating for ex-offenders in South Africa.
wow. And in celebration of Youth Month, what, as a youth, does June 16 mean to you?
Wow, June 16 for me is a remembrance. We remember how 1976 was, and I mean, I've been quite a passionate history student in high school. Those who went to school with me know that,
Mm,
and what it means to me is very powerful. It is this day and in this month where I feel each and every youth must be ignited to have the fire in young people. We are no
mm,
longer fighting the apartheid system. However, we are fighting for a sustainable ecosystem which includes young people, in which young people, importantly, strive to contribute positive content for the betterment of our future.
beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
I am ending this show honestly with talks of youth, as it is Youth Month and we are youth. What will you say to the youth? What are your words of wisdom to young people on celebrating Youth Day, celebrating Youth Month, being a youth? What are your words of wisdom to young
The,
people?
the world doesn't care about your race. The world doesn't care about your background. The world doesn't accommodate your pity party. What I can say to you is that yes, your story is difficult, but keep walking, keep being proud. Make sure that you represent yourself the best way you know how. When you walk into a boardroom one day, no one wants to hear about your upbringing, on how difficult life has been. All they want to hear is what is it that you have to offer. Focus on that. So stop carrying your past with you and sharpen your talent and make sure that you leave a mark there. Let them know that there was a Ntabeni who walked past this place.
Beautiful. Sharpen, guys. You've heard it here. This is very impactful to know that you must stand, you must be able to, if I can say, grab the bull by the horns and work towards what you want to achieve. Now, Mr. Ntabeni, you have mentioned so many things that you have been doing since the start of your small business till now with the CFS and your own company. What do you do to unwind? What do you do to relax? And as you say that as well, please give us contact details for those who wish to get in contact with your company. Where can they find you? How can they email you, contact you, and the like?
Okay, I enjoy adventure. If I'm not behind something dangerous, a pistol, or doing something dangerous, I'm either spending time with my wife, my friends, or my
Mm,
family. Um, if I'm not doing that, I'm probably playing with a toddler somewhere,
mm,
a child in a shopping center, or my little nephew.
mm,
So, someone, because kids are so innocent. I've got a little nephew called Mahlori, and he is the most peaceful child in the world. Him and his twin sister, Singi. And those, for me, young kids, you know, many, Bunene, Bukosi, all the kids, Lulama,
mm.
Ulombe, all the kids. I just love them.
Beautiful. And where might people find you?
Oh, you can find us at our offices in Johannesburg. You'll find that address on our website on www.mulo.co.za, or you can send an email to info@mulo.co.za, or contact us on 087 265 3677. Social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, we are there.
Wow. Time truly does pass by. The hour is almost gone.
Yeah.
And but it was such a informative talk. I think myself, the listeners, we've learned so much, and it's given us also insight to the youth, I'm sure, that have been listening on how to go about themselves, how to start small, how to keep going, how to not let their past define them, but to essentially put in the work and to see themselves grow and grow and grow and grow more in their businesses. Now, with the hour that has gone, I would like to ask you, what would be your parting shots? What would you like to say? Maybe I did not mention it in the questions. Maybe it's just something that's in your heart. What is your parting shot?
My parting shot would be something that's very personal to me. And I'd want to encourage someone to say, stop listening to the noise. People discouraging you, people speaking ill of you, disappointments and failures. Stop listening to it. Always remember that your path is harder because your calling is higher.
Wow. Your path is harder because your path is higher.
Because your
That
calling, because your
your
calling is higher.
your calling is higher. That
Yes.
that brings also perspective to show you that when you're, for instance, diamonds, let me give a simple example. They do not work well unless they're under pressure. For you to get a diamond, you must put in so much pressure, and it gives that insight. This has been such an amazing hour with you, and I am also honored to have been the one to host you today as a youth and as the guest host for today. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, please tune in as well next week. We would be happy to have you, and yeah, we'll see you next week. Though unfortunately, I will not be with you. Our host, Dr. Hlami and Miss Aventina, will be back. You have been watching and listening to the African Experience, telling African stories the African way and taking Africa to the world. Thank you also to my executive producer, Pastor Strike, and I will see you next time, same place in the African Experience. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much.
Streaming 24/7. 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana, oh Afrika nakupenda sana.